Now on CoastTV News.
Storm prep. People on the coast brace for flooding as wet weather continues. And dune erosion. Broadkill Beach is wearing away, and the forecast is more cause for concern.
Erin's influence on our coast. Details coming up.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Christina DeRobertis. Tonight, people on the coast are preparing for the effects of Hurricane Erin. Strong winds and flooding expected tomorrow. Many beaches have been closed for most of the week due to rough surf and rip currents. We did speak with some people in Fenwick Island today who say they're hoping for the best, but preparing for the worst.
We moved everything off the ground and cleared and expecting, they're saying 1 to 2 feet of flooding. So we'll see tomorrow.
And on your screen now is the North Indian River Inlet. Earlier this evening, some viewers will remember a large portion of dunes here washed away almost exactly a year ago. Now, as a hurricane swirls around off the coast, concerns about dune damage here have resurfaced. DENREC is referring to Hurricane Erin as a severe erosion event. Officials say how severe, that will be determined over the next few days. And speaking of dunes, we'll go now to Broadkill Beach, where the dunes are already being worn down by waves. Locals hoping the impending storm will not cause infrastructure damage, but they say it's one step closer in that direction. We spoke with a man who lives along the beach who's worried about the already vulnerable area.
I believe that after we get the leftovers of the hurricane that's offshore now, that the rest of this here will be gone and the waves will be crashing where the old dune was.
And DENREC says they're going to be keeping a close watch on the damage from these waves until Saturday, when things are expected to calm down. And now we're going to take a live look outside and turn things to our First Alert Chief Meteorologist, Paul Williams. Paul, what can you tell us?
Well, as you can see on the video right there, we have some very active waves. We're going to be concerned about rip currents, and now we have tropical storm warnings in effect. So we're looking for very blustery conditions right now. We're looking at Hurricane Erin. Erin right now, sustained winds at 110 miles per hour. It's moving to the north at about 16 miles per hour. It's picked up a little momentum as far as the movement is concerned, but it's moving directly north and is expected to begin to veer more towards the northeast here pretty quickly. Now, even with that being the case for the coast, tropical storm force winds, okay, up to 45 mile per hour wind gusts or more. Inland, we're looking for breezy conditions out of the northeast with 15 to 25 mile per hour winds. Places like, like Delmarva, as well as Georgetown and those areas. In the eastern shore, coastal flooding and breezy conditions with the winds between 15 to 25 miles per hour, gusts up to 35 miles per hour. That's what we're expecting, and we anticipate major flooding along the coast. We'll talk more detail on the storm surge in our next weather segment. Till then, back to you, Christina.
Paul, thank you. And as Paul mentioned, flooding is a big concern. On your screen now are parts of roads near Long Neck that still have water on them from recent rain, and neighbors say the flooding from the Rehoboth Bay was the worst on Monday. But as Brandon Ferguson reports, now they're preparing for round 2.
Walking through water and driving through water.
We've been through this before, so we'll be prepared.
That's what neighbors in the Long Neck area, like Ron Amadio, have been doing this week. Amadio has seen flooding like this in years past. The Riverdale Boat Club, underwater, and an oak orchard on River Road turns into a literal river. He has a unique way of telling how bad the flooding is.
We look around, and I guess I can look this way, and there's a dirt line right over here, and you can see the last couple of days we've had some water up here in the yards and everything, but nothing more than we've ever had.
And speaking with neighbors off camera here in Bay City, they said the worst of the flooding came on Monday night during high tide. They said these waters came up over the dock and onto the land, creating problems for some people trying to use their car. Lucy Thompson is visiting the coast from Virginia. She says start preparing now in case Erin brings storm surges like this one.
I'm a little concerned about it, but I'm concerned about everybody. Just want everybody to be safe.
Preparing is something Amadio already has on the mind.
We're going going to start tying down our stuff here, our table or our chairs. I've moved the plants down. They usually sit up here, so I think we'll be prepared.
For people in Long Neck, flooding isn't new, but it's how you prepare for flooding that is the difference maker.
And that was Brandon Ferguson reporting. Now, lots of beaches on Delmarva feeling the effects of the weather today. In Dewey Beach, the ocean was open, but people were encouraged to not go past their knees. In Rehoboth Beach, the ocean was open to only go in waist deep. At Assateague State Park in Maryland, ocean access was closed. In Bethany and Ocean City, also no swimming allowed. And in South Bethany, the beach was open for walking, but the ocean also closed to swimmers. And this brings us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know, how do beach closures impact your plans? Looking at the results, 85% say no impact, 9% a slight change, 6% say it's a major disruption. We really want to know what you think, so head over to CoastTV.com or use our mobile app. You can vote yourself. Moving on now, funeral services are expected to take place tomorrow for longtime Delaware Congressman and Governor Mike Castle. Family and friends will gather at Chandler Funeral Home in Wilmington from 5 to 8 p.m. with a private burial planned at St. Mary Magdalene Roman Catholic Church on Friday at 10:30 in the morning. Then a celebration of life will follow at the Wilmington Country Club. Mike Castle died last Thursday at the age of 86. New today, a judge ruling against country singer and Milton native Jimmy Allen in his second lawsuit over missed court deadlines. According to court documents, Allen was penalized for repeatedly failing to follow court orders. This is all tied to an ongoing lawsuit involving a second Jane Doe who accused Allen of sexual assault. Among the violations listed, the plaintiff says Allen did not pay nearly $6,000 in mediation fees and that he missed a court deadline to hire a new legal representative. Since the allegations surfaced, Allen has already gone through at least 3 different lawyers, and we have reached out to Allen's current lawyer for comment. We've not heard back yet. And for more on this specific case and others that Allen has been accused of, you can visit CoastTV.com. Delaware State Police are investigating a deadly car crash in Angola. According to DSP, a Honda CR-V turned left into the path of a tractor trailer. This is where it happened on Route 24 and Harts Road. Police say 3 people were hurt and 1 woman was killed. Well, making national headlines tonight, Republican governors from 5 additional states have promised to deploy National Guard troops to Washington, D.C., escalating President Donald Trump's efforts to amass armed forces in the nation's capital. Sherelle Hubbard has details on how the Trump administration plans to beef up what it calls a crime crackdown.
Protesters loudly chanting, "Shame, this is our city, and we want the military out of our streets," gathered inside Union Station in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday. Vice President J.D. Vance, who was there to greet National Guard members, was booed.
You hear these guys outside here screaming at us. Of course, these are a bunch of crazy protesters, but I'll tell you, a couple of years ago when I brought my kids here, they were being screamed at by violent vagrants, and it was scaring the hell out of my kids.
The Trump administration maintains that it was necessary to deploy federal agents and National Guard troops in D.C. to patrol the streets and tamp down crime. But data shows that the number of violent crimes are lower so far this year than they were last year at this time, continuing a drop from a 2023 spike.
It has gone down precipitously over the last 2 years because of a lot of hard work, changes to our public safety ecosystem, including changes to the law.
Some residents report that they haven't seen troops in the high crime areas where they're needed.
If the goal is to clean up crime and to clean up the city, then clean up the whole city.
Troops deployed from West Virginia were expected to be operational as soon as Wednesday. Additionally, several other red states, including Louisiana, Mississippi, Ohio, South Carolina, and Tennessee, have pledged to send additional troops to Washington. I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
And a new poll finds that 79% of D.C. residents say they oppose the federal takeover of the city's police force and having the National Guard and FBI patrol the area. Plus, we are just getting started tonight. More news coming your way, like teal ribbons popping up in Lewes. We'll tell you the message behind the color. But first, breaking ground in Harrington, what the future holds for the town's future industrial park.
And we'll talk about what the future holds for the path and impact of Erin. Your full forecast coming up in 60 seconds. Although it's the middle of the night, you can still see the cresting of the waves, the courtesy of our Gateway Subaru camera. Right now, we're holding about 77 degrees. Now, keep this in mind. Erin's not making a direct hit or even a close clipping or going by us very closely. But because it's so big of a storm, it's still having a profound effect on our safety and our concerns and beach erosion right here in Delmarva. That's just how powerfully big this storm is, and it's getting stronger now as of late. We're looking at winds right now, relatively pedestrian for thus far, but it's going to change. We're under a tropical storm warning. Now, the watch, we were watching out for about 35, maybe 45 mile per hour winds. This warning means we're watching out for 50 mile per hour gusts and above. That's how serious it is. That's from Ocean City down to Chincoteague, but that also includes Lewes all the way down to Fenwick Island. Tropical storm warning. That's in effect till like Saturday. Then we have a coastal flood warning, which means we're watching out for about a foot, possibly even 2, for low-lying areas along the beach area. But this also includes inland areas like not just Lewes, but also Milton, Georgetown, Sycamore. All of the inland areas are under the threat of that. Now, coastal flood warning is in effect for Ocean City, obviously, but it's also in effect at the least advisory level for Salisbury, Pittsfield, the airport, Eden, and as well as Whitten. And then on the other side of the peninsula, we still have an active small craft advisory. That's talking about 25 mile per hour winds. A lot of advisories to kind of filter through, but bottom line is watching out for more flooding and watching out for some serious winds. And the hurricane is going to be at least 200 to 300 miles away from us. That being the case, we have light scattered showers right now, and the rain we're experiencing right now is just because of the stationary boundary. This right here, these rings that you see here, that's the outer bands of Erin. Erin is a gigantic storm moving to the north at 16 miles per hour. Sustained winds at 110. So right now it's a category 2 and it's going to stay at category 2 for right now. We're expecting for it to continue to stay as a category 2 and move to the north as a result of its path. Now you'll notice the spaghetti models are indicating the closest model that puts it closest to us is about 250 miles. The rest of the models are in uniform farther away from us. But these outer bands are just problematic as this will swing out to deeper water and eventually lose some strength. But even when you take a look at the wind field, okay, you see how that wind field creeps close to us, but it doesn't even touch us. This outer band of yellow here, this is looking for only 39 mile per hour winds. So it's the outer band that's affecting us. But that outer band is so wide that by 11:30, we're looking out for maybe 7-foot water waves. And then it goes down to 4 and all of that. But we are going to see deeper reds, which is 8 to 12, kick in for us throughout Thursday afternoon, around 2 o'clock to Thursday evening. Erin's center is going to be 250 to 350 miles offshore. Swells at 8 to 14 feet. Tidal flooding, beach erosion, dangerous rip currents. So you see tomorrow, the wind really kicks in at noon, 2 o'clock, going into 4 o'clock hour. So it's in the afternoon tomorrow. Let me say that one more time. It's in the afternoon tomorrow after lunch where the winds become a big problem. Look at these winds at 37 miles per hour, and they will peak at about 51 in some areas. Precipitation, not really the issue. I mean, we're going to say cloudy. We may have a few drizzly areas. And Friday, we clear out totally from all of that. That being said and done, here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Dangerous swells and rip currents for Thursday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon until 5.
All right, Paul Williams, thank you for tracking all these advisories, watches, and warnings for us. Well, ground was broken today for the long-planned Harrington Industrial Park. After nearly 40 years of planning, the project is moving forward thanks to a $3.4 million federal grant. Officials say the 130-acre park could create up to 750 jobs. And Delaware congressional leaders called this an important step in laying the foundation for Harrington's future.
This is a great day for Kent County, for Harrington, frankly for all of Delaware, when we've got new high-quality jobs being made possible through a long-term joint partnership.
Harrington leaders say the hope is to get the industrial park open by spring 2026. Volunteers in Lewes took time today to turn the town teal. It's part of a national campaign to raise awareness for ovarian cancer. It comes ahead of Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month, which is September. Now, there's no early detection test for ovarian cancer, which makes it important for women to know the signs and symptoms to catch it at an early stage. And that's really the whole point of Turn the Town Teal and why those volunteers were out tying ribbons around Lewes today.
The visual to get people to talking, what are those teal bows? And then when we have the packets that we hand out to the businesses, we have the brochures and other information to follow up.
And it's not just Lewes participating. You can find teal bows around Milton, and volunteers are heading to Rehoboth and Dover next week to do the same. Coming up next, flying just got faster. The new way some travelers are skipping the line at TSA.
This is Coast TV News at 11.
Well, many people who have tried to cancel a gym membership can relate to this. A popular gym facing a lawsuit from the Federal Trade Commission for making it too hard for consumers to cancel their memberships. The lawsuit involves California-based Fitness International and Fitness and Sports Clubs. They operate LA Fitness and other gym chains. The two companies have more than 600 locations and more than 3.7 million members nationwide. The FTC's complaint says LA Fitness uses complicated methods going beyond requiring people to cancel in person or through the mail, therefore making it, quote, extremely difficult to cancel. A new program to speed up security screenings at the airport is starting up using biometric verification and facial recognition to move passengers through TSA quickly. Priya Sridhar is at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport with the details.
You're all set, Elizabeth. Have a good trip.
This morning, with just a quick face scan, Clear Plus passengers are breezing through TSA.
Super fast, super easy.
It's called e-gates, and these machines use biometric scans, like a live photo of your face, to verify your identity in real time without the need for a person to check your documents.
What did you think about it?
Wonderful.
What was the main difference?
Not fumbling for my license.
The lanes are only open to Clear Plus members, which requires one government-issued ID, a $209 per year membership, and a scan of your face for your biometric data.
Just like a regular Clear lane, you have to get your boarding pass scanned. Then you walk up to the e-gate and a camera scans your face. And after 3 seconds, you can walk right through without having to talk to anyone, and then you're off to the baggage screening area.
While you skip one line, TSA still screens passengers and their carry-ons. Clear says they never sell your biometric data and that TSA has complete operational control over security screening.
This is new to American travelers, ubiquitous if you go to Europe, to Asia, across the world, but we are here to make America's airports ready to be on the world stage.
They hope this technology will shorten lines at airports ahead of major events like the FIFA World Cup next summer, which could bring 20 million international visitors to the U.S., putting unprecedented pressure on airport security infrastructure.
I think it's a good deal for people who are business travelers, people that do travel a lot, luxury or business, I guess, simply because it's really not a huge price to pay for the time they're going to save.
The e-gates come after TSA eliminated the requirement to remove shoes at security checkpoints last month, and after new family-friendly security lanes rolled out at some airports to make flying with children easier. New programs that could be a game changer for airport travel.
Coming up in sports tonight, the Washington Commanders are still looking for a definitive running back. DSN's Darren Wallace joins us later to break things down. And coming up, La Red Health Center changing patient access, how a new call center could help patients.
We salute Anthony LaMancha for his courageous service aboard the USS Pueblo during the Vietnam War. In 1968, Tony and his shipmates were captured by North Korea and held as prisoners of war for 11 months. Enduring hardship with strength and resilience, Tony's bravery and sacrifice remain a powerful testament to the courage of all who serve. We honor and thank him for his service to our nation.
Spicer Brothers and CoastTV are honoring military persons and first responders serving Delmarva. If you have a family member, friend, or community member that you would like to nominate for a CoastTV salute, go to coasttvsalutes.com.
Lavred Health Center is announcing changes to improve patient care across services at its clinics in Milford, Georgetown, and Seaford. Lavred has teamed up with a bilingual outside organization to run their call center. And Lavred says they've also added new providers in primary care, pediatrics, and behavioral health, all of whom are now accepting new patients. Well, it's not unusual for a student to not always look forward to getting out of bed in the morning and heading to school. But if they want to avoid the classroom on a regular basis, experts say something else might be at play. In tonight's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has the not-so-obvious warning signs of emotional distress in students and how parents can help.
It isn't always easy getting out of the door for school, and while experts say it's normal for a student to not want to head to class every now and again, when it becomes a pattern, there may be a problem.
Maybe it's that they're not fitting in at school, they're experiencing bullying or just nervous about socializing. It may be a sign of a mental health concern like anxiety or depression. It may also be that they have a learning disability that hasn't been diagnosed yet.
Pediatric psychologist Ariana Howitt with Nationwide Children's Hospital says emotional distress may not look the same in children as it does adults. Warning signs may include behavior changes, tantrums, irritability, and anger. There may also be physical symptoms like stomach aches, headaches, and nausea, which could also signal a mental health concern like anxiety.
As parents, we want to often shield our kids from those difficult emotions. What happens though is if we let a child avoid, stay home from school, it actually makes the anxiety grow.
Instead, Howitt encourages parents to sit down with the child and get to the root of the problem. Validate what they're feeling, let them know you understand, then work together to problem solve.
If a child is feeling nervous about, let's say, socializing with others, then we practice those social skills at home. We practice them out in different environments so that when they do them at school, they feel more confident.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
And Howitt says the more experience a child has with something that's scary, the easier it becomes to manage the concern. She says it's all about maintaining a healthy balance by allowing children to feel their emotions, but also arming them with coping skills so that they can face what they fear. Moving to sports, the Washington Commanders still searching for a starting running back, and the Delmarva Sports Network's Darren Wallace shows us how the entire position group is stepping up at the end of preseason.
As we enter the final week of NFL training camp, the Washington Commanders will have some tough decisions to make. Terry McLaurin has headlined the preseason question marks, but another notable name missing in action has been Brian Robinson Jr. And when you're coming off a season like the one the Commanders had last year, you have to find answers quickly.
They're big guys. They know what's at stake.
Commanders head coach Dan Quinn says he's addressed the team regarding the situation with Robinson. Although there are many questions without a clear-cut answer, the voices in the running back room are stressing the importance of rising to the occasion.
That's what the NFL is about. The NFL is about stepping up. It's about continuing to take advantage of an opportunity. Doesn't matter if you're a 10-year vet or you're in your rookie year.
After nearly a decade in the league, Austin Eckler understands probably more than most of the other backs that stepping up in a situation like this is really all you can do. And young guys like Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt or Bill are finding ways to do exactly that.
It's definitely a business, and you just gotta show up every day like it's your last and just give it your all. I was the underdog at one point, and I still got so much that I want to prove.
So as the curtain slowly closes on the preseason, these Commanders running backs are ready to do whatever needs to be done to make the team and help win football games.
At the end of the day, we're all focusing on ourselves. We're all trying to make the team. The more,
energy that we focus into, not knowing what's going to happen, we're really not being our best self. So, I think everybody in the room are just focusing on themselves right now and trying to be a better player.
From the Commanders practice facility, I'm Darren Wallace for the Delmarva Sports Network.
Now here's a live look into Rehoboth Beach. We'll have one more check on the forecast after the break. Well, here's something you can't do every day. Run a 5K on a brand new road. On September 13th, DelDOT is hosting a 5K on the new Millsboro Bypass. Attendees will have the opportunity to see the new road and run on the new road before it opens to traffic. All proceeds benefit the Andrew McDonough Be Positive Foundation, which fights childhood cancer.
Take a look at our Lewes tunnel razor camera. We're at 76 degrees at this present time. Look for cloudy skies to stay pretty persistent, and we're looking for very breezy conditions tomorrow, starting at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and continuing until about 7. And that's when Erin will actually have a more direct effect on our weather conditions. Our umbrella giveaway winner is Kathy Loy of Del Mar. Congratulations, courtesy of Paul Davis. Keep up with your forecast by calling our weather line, 443-880-9100. Your forecast is just a call away. Sponsored by the law offices of Bruxted, Mandalis, and Federico. So let's talk about your exclusive 10-day forecast. Focusing on Thursday, listen very carefully. We are expecting Erin to directly affect our weather between 2 and 5 o'clock tomorrow with 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts on the beaches. Let me say that one more time. From 2 to 5 o'clock Thursday, 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Christina?
Thank you, Paul, and thanks for joining us for Coast TV News at 11. You can find more news, more local weather on our Coast TV News app. Tonight show starring Jimmy Fallon's up next, and we'll see you tomorrow for Coast TV News at 5 a.m. Have a great night.